Pat? Oh. All right, we've got the California Water. There, back up. Okay. Don't talk until you get to the microphone. We're broadcasting this and recording it, too.
Yes. This was a continuation of my previous comments. So what I realized, and I apologize for bringing this to your attention late, but when I made comments on the Delta Plan, I struggled with the fact that there were a lot of areas where it wasn't well defined. And one of them was the ecological goals and what, restore the Delta ecosystem really meant. Right. And that's why I went back to the CalFed record of decision. Right. What I'd like to read, there's very clear goals there. Goal 1 was achieve recovery of at-risk native species dependent on the Delta and Suisun Bay as the first step toward establishing large, self-sustaining populations of these species. Support similar recovery of at-risk native species in San Francisco Bay and the watershed above the estuary, and minimize the need for future endangered species listings by reversing downward population trends of native species that are not listed. Goal 3. That's
from the CalFed policy document you earlier referred to?
Those are the existing ecosystem restoration goals. And recovery is quite a bit stronger than no jeopardy. And there's a CEQA issue, 2 CEQA issues raised by this. One is that the new standards are considerably weaker, and the other is that there's a CEQA 15125A issue about the specification of the no-action alternative. Let me say, the EIR shall discuss any that's not it. But basically, the existing baseline should be the existing regulatory scope. So with respect to discussing the Delta Plan ecosystem restoration goals, I very much feel that the Delta Council needs to both, as a policy of considering the changes in management, which is just good policy, and also from a statutory and CEQA standpoint, they need to do this in the EIR to consider the changes in the goals. 15125A says, when the project is the revision of an existing land use or regulatory plan, a policy or ongoing operation, the no project alternative will be the continuation of the existing plan, policy, or operation into the future. Typically, this is a situation where other projects initiated under the existing plan will continue while the new plan is developed. Thus, the projected impacts of the proposed plan or alternative plans would be compared to the impacts that would occur under the existing plan. And there's an issue, everybody wants to forget CalFed, but the state did go through an exhaustive process that was similar to this, and they came up with a set of goals that have been used to guide the management of the Delta, for the last decade. And there was also an evaluation. There was CalFed Stage 1, Stage 2, which took part in 2008 on, was evaluating how we were meeting those goals and how we weren't, and to then consider what actions needed to be taken. That was part of the adaptive management commitment. So by not comparing the new goals with the previous goals, it's sort of evading the whole issue of the commitment under adaptive management, and I think there really needs to be a continuity. I also wanted to read the maintain harvested species. I don't believe that's listed, but maintain or enhance populations of selected species for sustainable commercial and recreational harvest, consistent with other ecosystem restoration plan strategic goals. While the Delta Plan mentions the ecosystem restoration program, and DFG is in the process of revising it, they're not explicitly looking at these previous goals and what ongoing commitments and what parts of CalFed they're going to incorporate and how it's going to change.
Okay.